chicken side. We are chicken side right now. I want to talk about Bitcoin. I did IT for 25 years, and not that that's relevant in investing or money subjects or any of that crap, but Bitcoin is technology. It's based on really common IT fundamentals of certificates and hashes and computing and processing and software-based functionality. And I think I got a perspective that not too many people. I've never heard anybody talk about it but me. I came up with this on my own, and I think that it's got some validity. If you want to talk to AI about it, it'll tell you the same thing. Basically, Bitcoin was kind of under the radar. The nerds knew about it, and they were buying pizzas with it and doing other stuff with it. But it has no real functional basis because you can't spend it like you can spend cash. And throughout its entire existence, banks have never really wanted to deal with it. So it's easy to get money in, not so easy to get money out. And that still holds true today. It would be great as a money transfer vehicle for anyone around the world. You want to send somebody money, instead of using Western Union or bank transfers or whatever, you could just use crypto. Any crypto. Could be Bitcoin, could be anything else. They've got some that are specifically made for that there's no limit to how many coins can be produced. I think it's XMT, or I don't remember the name of the coin. I don't really give a shit about crypto. But the Bitcoin itself has a limited number that's going to be produced. It's going to be produced via a Herculean effort of processing by specially made devices called ASICs, and that's all they're computer processors, and that's all they can think about is Bitcoin, doing the math that makes a Bitcoin. And so it's a huge waste of resources, power, and heat, and all that. It's the stupidest crap. It's totally stupid. And it's, like they had the gold rush in the U.S. and California, and they said that if you want to make money in a gold rush, you don't pan for gold, you sell the shovel. So China is selling the shovel for the Bitcoin. They got all these monopoly on all these processing devices to make Bitcoin. So it ain't decentralized. That's a load of shit. That's all these cool terms. They love to throw out cool terms. They don't mean shit. This decentralization is a joke. Yeah, there's no bank involved, but where are you going to mine the Bitcoins? Where are you going to get the Bitcoins? Where do they come from? Well, they come from these specialized devices burning down a whole electric grid. Yeah, that's where they come from. Great fucking idea. So, it's kind of cool where you can deal with money without dealing with banks, but it has been fraught with crime, fraud, money laundering, Silk Road, drug sales. It's been an absolute bane to human existence, and it's likely the largest Ponzi scheme that humans have ever dreamed up. Because basically, it's only worth what a motherfucker is going to buy it from you for. So it's only worth how much you can get if you sell it. And what is it? It's nothing. You're buying air. It's not backed by anything. You're buying air. You buy a stock on the stock market. You buy Microsoft stock. Microsoft is a company. You're buying into a company, and that company's not going to go to zero. And if it does, you'll see the writing on the wall and be able to get out. All these coins that have come and gone had the rug pulls or whatever they call that, where they pump up the coin, a bunch of people buy it, and then the originators sell it real quick, and then the coin's worth zero. It went to zero. You could have had $1 million in there 1 minute, and then the next minute it's traded 24 hours. So the next minute it could be in the middle of the night when you're sleeping. Somebody basically sells the originators sell all their shares, and the coin is useless now. So there went your $1 million. You got nothing to show for it. Zero. If you would have bought Microsoft stock and it went to zero, at least you could have seen it coming, and it would happen during business hours, and you could have done something about it. You could have done a stop loss. You could have done something like that. You could have been ready for it. But there's no value. It's not a thing you can touch. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not copper. It's nothing. It's air. It's not a baseball card you can give to somebody or sell to somebody. I mean, at least a baseball card is cardboard with a picture on it and provable limited supply. The Bitcoin is a limited supply because they told you it was a limited supply, not because that can't be changed. And other rules that have been associated with Bitcoin have been changed along the way since they've been doing this thing. Because there's a group of developers that manage all the rules associated with Bitcoin, and they've changed the rules many times since it came out. It's not one and done. I mean, the originator went away, the Satoshi guy, whatever. He went away. Nobody knows who he is. He's sitting on a beach somewhere laughing his ass off. And let's talk about the value. You know, the value went through the roof in late 2017, October, November-ish. And nobody has thought about why. Nobody wants to know why. They don't care about the why. Why would it do that? Why would it 5x the value? It was 4,000 and it went up to 20,000. Why would it do that? Why? Does that make any sense? Who are these investors that bought into this? And how is that possible? Well, let me tell you how. I happen to know, happen to have firsthand fucking experience. I was in Kuwait, and we had more money than we knew what to do with. And so some guys had Bitcoin. They talked about Bitcoin, you know, blah blah blah. But it was 4,000. It wasn't even high on the list. Well, then Bitcoin started doing some shit, and nobody knew why. Well, now everybody's talking about it. Oh, I'm fucking buying some Bitcoin. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. I'm gonna buy some whatever. Well, the reason it went up is because the Saudi prince locked up all the billionaires in Saudi in the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, and there was like 100 or so of them. And what do those dudes do? They got a shitload of money they need to hide. They need to get it out of the banking system before the prince gets his grubs on them, get his hands on them. So what do you do with money that you need to get rid of quick? Well, you can't deal with banks. The banks are just going to send it right back if they see some shady shit going on, or the crown prince says, hey bank over in the Philippines, I want that money back that this guy transferred you, and the bank is going to do it because they got rules. They got to adhere to shit. They can't just do what they want. Well, what do? You throw it in fucking Bitcoin. And so what happened in like 2 months? The price of Bitcoin went from 4,000 to 20,000 at the peak at that time. So why did it do that? Nobody cares. All they know is all of a sudden it's the golden child and it's the best thing ever. Nobody really understands how it works or what it does, what it was designed for. Nobody understands any of that shit. All they know is they see value and they're going to buy it. It's like the next gold. It's something. It's real. No, it's real because the billionaires, and they estimate that it took between $30 and $60 billion in those 2 months to get it to 5x's value. That money didn't come out of thin fucking air. And the businesses in the U.S. didn't buy it because it's illegitimate currency. It's not like there was businesses that are trillion-dollar businesses or whatever that were investing in that stuff. No, that wasn't a thing back then. You couldn't just invest in Bitcoin. You had investors and board members and oversight committees and lawyers and all that shit. You can't just go buying fucking Bitcoin as a legitimate U.S. business. Well, who can? Who is an independent person and who is locked up in a 7-star hotel talking to your buddies, sitting around doing nothing, talking to your buddies, trying to figure out how you're going to hide your money so the crown prince doesn't steal it? Fucking Saudis. They're cajillionaires. Their money, we don't even know how much money they have because they don't have to report anything. It's a limitless amount. So they're hiding their shit, and that's what they did. They hid it in Bitcoin. And oh, by the way, they told all their buddies because now the price has 5x'd. So now their money is worth way fucking more money. Then when they threw it in there to hide it, now they're like, holy shit, we're on to something now, boys. We can manipulate the market. So they laughed all the way to the bank. And they slowly, once that got resolved with the Crown Prince, they've been slowly taking money out. But that's a new investment vehicle for them now. So now Bitcoin is whatever, 70, 80,000. It was up to 120 or whatever. Nobody knows why it's doing what it's doing. But I'm going to tell you right now, you look at what's happening in the world and who needs to hide money and why. That's what's manipulating the price of Bitcoin, not idiots in their basement trying to mine it or buy it because they got some money from an inheritance or whatever. Nobody does that shit. Now the only reason I give a shit about Bitcoin is because I got solar right there, and right now today, sunny day, it's 1 o'clock. My solar is sitting there doing nothing because my batteries are full. I'm running some air cons in the house, but that's a joke for this solar. 16,000 watts. I can run all my air conditioners on that easy and still charge the batteries. So no, I'd like to see about what do I do with that excess energy. All right, well maybe I can mine some Bitcoin and make a couple bucks. It's almost impossible to make any money by mining Bitcoin, but whatever. I'm a nerd, IT nerd. I'll throw a couple bucks at it and see if I can't use that energy for something. So the way you get Bitcoin is you mine other coins, and then you can turn it into Bitcoin. And look, we're talking about 10 cents a day here. We're not talking about anything, okay? We're not talking about real money or I'm not getting rich. This isn't a second income. This is 10 cents a day, dude. It's nothing. But it's just something to think about, something to do, something to keep my mind occupied. In order to make any real money in Bitcoin, you got to have an ASIC miner, and it's got to have fans that run at 10,000 RPMs and make you insane because of their noise. And that solar array right there will run one Bitcoin miner, and that's it, because they pull so much power. It's like running your clothes dryer at home all the time. So if you're running that miner 24 hours a day, you don't have enough solar for anything more than one. If you want to run two, you better double your solar. So you can't really use solar to produce energy for true Bitcoin mining, but you can play around with it. You can dabble in it or whatever. And it's a fucking joke. Anybody that has Bitcoin and they want to talk about Bitcoin like it's the next thing is a goddamn idiot. Because, like I said, it's not a baseball card. It's not gold. It's not silver. It's not a stock that is supported by a company. It's nothing. You bought nothing. It's air. And trust me, I've bought it before. I've owned Bitcoin, and thankfully I'm about even for my crypto Bitcoin career. I haven't lost or gained. About even. So I've played with it. It would have been nice if I made a ton of money on it, but I haven't, and I'm retired from that. I'm only playing with this because I got excess power, and it keeps me occupied. But Bitcoin is a fucking scam, a total fucking scam. And anybody that tells you otherwise doesn't know anything about anything. Whatever rules they've set up for Bitcoin can change tomorrow. Whatever rules it takes to mine Bitcoin and use energy, they could change that tomorrow. Whatever limited supply you think there is, that could change tomorrow. It's all software. It's ones and zeros. It's not like it's a printing press that prints baseball cards and it's only going to print so much of this one or this Pokemon card or whatever. That at least that's a silly thing to compare it to, but that's it. I mean, it's a fucking piece of paper. At least it's something. Bitcoin is not even that. It's only worth what some idiot is going to pay you for it. And if you run out of idiots that want it, you're assed out of gas. You got nothing. And that's going to happen. There's eventually going to be not enough idiots in the world to buy that shit. And it's going to be worth nothing. But I'm going to make my 10 cents. Got my 10 cents right there. It's pounding right now. It's thinking away about fucking nothing. Useless. It doesn't do anything. It's not even like the use your processor to find alien life, the SETI thing, SETI. You can use your processor to process noises they hear from space. Like the Bitcoin accomplishes fucking nothing. It uses all these badass computers and custom made processors and solves nothing. It only consumes. It makes heat in your basement. That's it. It only consumes power and consumes your sanity if it's going down and you don't know why, or if the rug gets pulled over some stupid coin that's not Bitcoin. You see all these other coins, they haven't done shit. They've been a million coins come and go, and they haven't done nothing. Bitcoin's the only one that's actually worth a damn. And that's just because people understand it. It's the original. And probably because the Saudis bought the shit out of it. So it's still fluctuating and coming and going and has value and doesn't have value. It's because it's getting real investment. Yeah, 30 to 50 billion it took to 5x. And who can manipulate the market? The fucking people with money. And it ain't a business. Although the stock market now trades in some Bitcoin related crypto shit, they're all going to shit. They all suck. The fact is the market can be manipulated. It's full of scams. People have lost millions of dollars. Haktua came out. You know when this fucking Haktua comes out with their own fucking coin? You know it's a goddamn joke. Come on. Haktua. Yeah. Come on. Use your head. Don't play with that shit. If you play with it, use small amounts of money. But don't expect nothing. Instead, buy the stock market. Buy Microsoft. Buy Exxon. Buy, I don't know. Don't buy a fucking Tesla there. I don't know. Maybe buy Tesla. I don't know. I don't got any stock advice, but that dude seems like he's making nothing but bad decisions lately. So I don't really know. But I know one thing. Fucking Bitcoin ain't it. So there's your lecture for today. It's pretty cool. I mean, I think it's cool. Bitcoin is cool. Don't get me wrong. I think it's cool that somebody came up with this shit. But it's $100,000 for a coin. Come on. For what? For air. For fucking air. So what a joke. And you compare it to gold. Come on. I can touch gold. The world goes to shit, and the power goes out. Some EMP, some nuke happens, the power goes out. What are you going to do with your Bitcoin? You fucking piss on it. It doesn't exist. At least with fucking gold, you can throw it at somebody. You throw your copper at somebody. You bought a rope, you can fucking hang yourself. That's about it. What it's good for. Fucking get yourself a rope. That's what you need. If you throw around with Bitcoin, you're gonna get yourself a rope. You're gonna need that. Anyways, that's a good time. I like talking about this kind of shit, especially when I think I've got perspective nobody has, and nobody's ever talked about that. Nobody even questions why it 4x'd. Nobody understands it. That's why they can't question it, because they don't understand it. They don't know what's happening. They don't know what addresses are buying all that, or who's behind that address, unless that person wants to put it on their Facebook and put their Bitcoin address, which is like their bank account, put their Bitcoin address on Facebook, and now it's not so anonymous anymore. Now they can put a face behind a number, and they can associate it somehow. So that's the thing. I mean, Bitcoin's not really anonymous anyways, but they used to think it was. So, yeah. Good times. Fuck Bitcoin. It's stupid. If you got it, I hope you made money. But don't fucking bet your life on it. If you do, buy a rope. See you around. Like, comment, subscribe. Tell me about your Bitcoin. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me why I'm a fucking idiot.